Good morning there in Pakistan and good afternoon here in Indonesia. I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Andi Adija from Nobel Indonesia Institute of Technology and Business. I'm really happy to be here as the presenter of this conference. Then I would like to present my paper with the title Emerging Use of Blended Learning Post-COVID-19, the role of professional learning community on teachers' technology literacy competence. And I would like to show my PowerPoint. Sorry for waiting. Okay, to begin, I will show you my abstract of my paper. I would say that during a pandemic, teachers work tirelessly to ensure that educational activities continue and that obstacles are minimized. When the government established a policy of learning from home, teachers are required to adapt the delivery of learning materials in class face-to-face directly to online learning. Even in some cases, teachers struggle to visit students individually with strict health protocols because online learning is not an option. More safe conditions can occur due to the diversity of regions and the socio-economic level of students. Students with low socioeconomic backgrounds, difficulty accessing online learning, limitation or absence of device quotas, internet networks, even electricity, children with special needs, and children whose parents died due to COVID-19 require special attention in recovering. Learning as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic in facing the area of society, two things must be done, namely adaptation and competence, adapting to society 5.0. We need to know the development of generations, knowing generations. The term baby boomers in question is the high birth rate of several generations, ranging from generation X to generation where there is a transformation of human civilization. Introduction 1. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a worldwide impact on the teaching profession. During a pandemic, teachers work tirelessly to ensure that educational activities continue and that obstacles are minimized. When the government implements a policy of learning from home, teachers are required to adapt the delivery of learning materials in class face-to-face directly to online learning. Even in some cases, teachers struggle to visit students one by one with strict health protocols because online learning is not an option. This is done so that all students can still participate and understand the learning material. Various work in the education sector have been carried out to optimize learning activities during the pandemic. However, there is still learning loss. Loss of learning can be in the form of losing learning progress or falling behind in learning achievements. Loss of learning progress occurs, especially in students in grades 1 to 3 of elementary school, which is the initial foundation of children's academic development. This is certainly worrying because it has the potential to interfere with the development and progress of student learning in the next year and level. Digital literacy. Digital literacy is the knowledge and skills of users in utilizing digital media, such as communication tools, internet networks, and so on. User skill in digital literacy include the ability to find, work on, evaluate, use, create, and utilize them wisely, intelligently, carefully, and precisely according to their use. Digital literacy is needed in the use of technology. One of the components in the learning and academic environment is digital literacy. The application of digital literacy can make pupils much wiser in using and accessing technology. In the field of technology, especially information and communication, digital literacy is related to the ability of its users. The ability to use technology wisely to create positive interaction and communication. Poor literacy can harm adolescent psychology. This is because teenagers tend to be unstable and often swallow the information obtained without finding out the truth and accuracy of the information. There are nine important components contained in digital literacy. 1. Social networking, transliteracy, maintaining privacy, managing identification, creating content, organizing and sharing content, reusing, reprocessing content, filtering and selecting content, and self-broadcasting. The role of teachers in education recovery efforts. Education recovery efforts, learning as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Without proper recovery efforts, the loss of learning progress due to the COVID-19 pandemic has an impact on student learning progress in the following years. The Director General of Teachers and Education Personnel of the Ministry of Education and Culture, Iwan Shahril, at the 5th Asian Summit Education Minister meeting 2021 said that literacy and numeracy are priorities in the restoration of education. In addition to the importance of developing soft skill and character education, because literacy and numeracy are basic skills that must be mastered. In addition, short-term education recovery is focused on improving student literacy and numeracy skill, as well as assessment to find out what students can and cannot do. The Ministry of Education and Culture is obliged to provide access for all teachers to special curriculum modules in the form of a simplified curriculum that can be applied flexibly, both in digital and print versions. More resources are needed for teachers to conduct classroom-based diagnostic assessment to identify learning outcomes and needs. Next, preparing professional educators in the age of Society 5.0. Many challenges and changes must be met in this era of Society 5.0, including what must be done by the education unit as the main gate in preparing superior human resource. The era of super smart society was introduced by the government of Japan in 2019, which was created as an anticipation of the disruption caused by the Industrial Revolution 4.0, which causes complex and ambiguous uncertainty. It is feared that the invasion could erode the values of human character that have been maintained so far. To answer the challenge of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 and Society 5.0 in the world of education, 21st century life skills, or better known as 4C: creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. are needed. Teachers are expected to be creative individuals, able to teach, educate, inspire, and become role models. Meanwhile, in the 21st century, the students are expected to have six basic literacy skills: numeric literacy, scientific literacy, information literacy, financial literacy, cultural literacy, and citizenship. Not only basic literacy, but also having other competencies, namely being able to think critically, reason, be creative, communicate, collaborate, and have problem-solving skills. And most importantly, have the behavior character that reflects such as curiosity, initiative, persistence, adaptability, leadership, and social and cultural awareness. Next, the role of educators era society 5.0. As educators in the era of society 5.0, teachers must have skills in the digital file and think creatively. According to Zulfikar Alimuddin, director of Habs, in the era of society 5.0, teachers are required to be more innovative and dynamic in teaching in the classroom. Therefore, there are three things that educators must use in the era of society 5.0, including the Internet of Things in the world of education, virtual, augmented reality in education, and the utilization of artificial intelligence in education to identify the learning needs needed by students. Educators must also have 21st century life skills, namely leadership skills, digital literacy, communication, emotional intelligence, entrepreneurship, global citizenship, team working, and problem solving. The focus of expertise in the 21st century education file and currently known as 4C, which includes creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. Educators in the society 5.0 century must be driving teachers who prioritize students over themselves. Take the initiative to make change to their students. Take action without prompting, continue to innovate, and take sides with students. However, with this change, many have questioned whether the role of the teacher can be replaced by technology. However, there is a teacher's role that doesn't exist in technology, including direct interaction in the classroom, the emotional bonding between teachers and students, character building, and teachers modeling. Then closing. With the global health crisis unfolding, of course, it is perfectly natural to focus on the current state of affairs. But as the world begins to feel the beneficial effects of emergency measures against COVID-19, it is time to look to the future. What will we learn from the pandemic when all is said and done? Will school be the same now after a prolonged period or forced closures that all campuses schools in Indonesia and even the world have towards wider use of technology to provide continuity in learning? This is where the blended learning method can be started. This hybrid learning method adopted by conducting hands-on learning and distance learning is one of many proposed models for the future of technology-assisted learning and education. Let's take a closer look at the definition and examine why COVID-19 might be a factor, key driving this model forward in schools around the world. It is impossible to find a single definition of blended learning. There are many ways to combine face-to-face class time and online lessons. Blended learning can be done to reduce the physical presence of students, supported by video conferencing to create small groups that allow for proper social distancing. But running this learning method is also mixed with learning to return to formal lessons as a common mode of teaching, with technology that supports the learning process more than ever. That is what makes blended learning considered a viable learning model for the future of education. A mix of in-person and online learning component can be combined in any proportion, neither inferior nor superior to the other, to assess or evaluate student participation in class, and each student can find a unique blend of the two that best suits his learning style and adapt to their family situation and level of access to technology. That's why blended learning is an ideal way to prepare students for the new post-COVID-19 world and be the start of future learning processes by utilizing technology without forgetting the presence of traditional classroom. Thank you. I think uh, that's all. That's all my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you, ma'am, for being with us and for sharing valuable information. It is requested to the audience if you want to ask any question.
Dr. Imtiaz, do you want to ask any question?
Thank you very much. I will appreciate her presentation, and he present very well. Thanks, lots.
Thank you so much once again. Well, moving ahead, it is requested to all of you to please switch off your cameras and also the speakers. Mr. Tahir साहब आपसे गुजारिश है